when you're allowed to eat the new crop. In the time of the Beit HaMikdash, there was the Korban Omer, the special korban that was brought on the second day of Pesach. And that's clear in the Torah that when the Korban Omer is brought on the second day of Pesach, that's when you could eat from the new crop that was planted post Pesach, right? Last Pesach, like this coming year, Be'ezrat Hashem, the Beit HaMikdash, we should be zocher that it should be rebuilt. And now the crop that grew in Eretz Yisrael this past year, whatever grew in Eretz Yisrael this past year, from post Pesach, whatever was planted, let's say May 2023, we cannot eat the crop from May 2023 until the Korban Omer, the special korban, was brought in April, whatever, Pesach, second day of Pesach 2024. We said there's a whole discussion. What about if it's grown outside Eretz Yisrael? Does the laws apply today for foods that grows in Alaska or wherever they go, in Maryland? A nice, beautiful farmland in Maryland. Is there any problem with that grain or not? We saw there's a lot of discussion, halacha, that, and so Chafetz Chaim is definitely encouraging people to be concerned, even from grain from Maryland. He was talking about grain from Russia, that issue. Good morning, Simon. Ralph is under the weather. Maybe so his throat, maybe he was hard for him to speak this morning, so he's not able to be at today. What? So welcome back, Simon. So here, then the question is like this: in the time when there's no Beit HaMikdash, what's the status? When could you eat from the new crop, from last year's crop? Let's say last year, 2023. We said the korban was not brought. The korban omer wasn't, the Beit HaMikdash wasn't built last year. So on a total level, when were they able to eat the crop made from 2022, right? 2022 to 2023 last year. 2023, at some point they were able to eat the past year's crop. There's no Beit HaMikdash. So we had until now the idea that on a total level, you will be able to eat from the korban last year on the 16th day of Nisan, the morning of the 16th, meaning you had the Seder the night of the 15th. Daytime is the first day of the holiday. The next morning is the second day of the holiday. So in Eretz Yisrael, the next morning, and so you're able to eat the new crop on a Torah level once the morning hits. Meaning to say, there's two psukim. One pasuk says you have to wait until the bringing of the korban omer to eat the new crop. One pasuk says you eat the new crop at etzem hayom hazeh, on that very, and you have to wait until that day, to that day of the 16th. So the Gemara till now understood, once the morning of the end of the 16th comes, you're good. There's no korban. If there's no Beit HaMikdash, the morning of the 16th, Max, am I clear on that? The morning of the second day of the holiday, you could already go ahead and eat the new crop. However, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai made an enactment. When the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, he said, you know what, we have to forbade people from eating the new crop in the morning, even though on a Torah level they could eat it in the morning. They have to wait until the nighttime. Why? They have to wait another 12 hours. Why? Because he was very concerned about the following scenario. We believe, as you know, Mashiach can come, Beit HaMikdash can be built any year. One of the things is it's dependent on us. If we do the right things, if we do tshuva, the Jewish world does tshuva, boom, Beit HaMikdash comes. If the Jewish world doesn't do tshuva, somehow it's going to come anyway at some time. So he says, listen, if let's say it was past year, if we're going to allow people to eat in the morning, if the Jewish community is going to get used to eating in the morning when there's no Beit HaMikdash, they'll just wait till the morning of the 16th. Then the following year, when the Beit HaMikdash will be rebuilt, they're going to think I could do what I did last year. Last year in the morning, I waited to the morning of the 16th when the Beit HaMikdash was down, was destroyed. So this new year, when the Beit HaMikdash is built, I'll also wait till the morning to have the new grain. But we know when the Beit HaMikdash is around, the morning does not give you the allowance to eat the new crop. You have to wait till the korban is brought. It takes a little time to bring the korban. It might take up to 6 hours into the day to bring the korban. It might take up to noon to bring the korban. And if they're going to have an early breakfast in the morning, they're going to the early minyan, and they're having an early breakfast in the morning. Or really, the truth is, the 16th of Nisan is Chalamoed, right? They went to an early minyan, daven early Chalamoed, and now they're having breakfast. Like last year, they had breakfast. Last year, you were allowed to have breakfast at 8 a.m. in the morning, 9 a.m. in the morning, on the second day of Pesach. Why? Because last year, there was no Korban Omer to wait for. But now this year, when the Beit HaMikdash is rebuilt and you have the Korban Omer to wait for, you're off sides. You ate too early, and you're eating at a time when the Torah prohibits you to eat the new crop, but you were supposed to wait till the actual Korban was brought. Therefore, to protect us, the rabbi said, don't eat from the new crop in the morning of the 16th. Rather wait till the nighttime of the 16th. That's what the Gemara said. We said yesterday. Now that is one understanding of the psukim. Comes the Gemara today and says we have a different opinion about when the Beit HaMikdash is not around. Until now, we just said that when the Beit HaMikdash is not around, you can start eating immediately on a Torah level in the morning of the 16th. This opinion says no. You have to wait till when the Beit HaMikdash is not around, you need to wait the night of the 16th. You cannot eat in the morning. Really, the Korban Omer gives you an early opportunity to eat when you have a Beit HaMikdash, you gain a few hours. You could just when they bring the Korban, and you know by 12 o'clock midday they already brought the Korban, that gives you an extra opening of time to eat the new crop. When there's no Beit HaMikdash, you got to wait to the night of that day. That means if today would be the second day of Pesach, last year there was no Beit HaMikdash. According to this opinion, you have to wait to the nighttime of the second day, which would mean the beginning of the third day of Pesach. Now, according to that, so what is Rabbi Yochanan doing? Well, Rabbi Yochanan, we said, Rabbi Yochanan makes an enactment that you can't eat the whole day. What do you mean he makes an enactment? That's the Torah law. We're saying, according to this opinion, that's the Torah law. So the Gemara will discuss this, and we're going to see how the Gemara develops this opinion. Good morning, Mark.
Morning, Rabbi.
Okay, the bottom of Mem Aleph Omen Aleph. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak Omer. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak says, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, who is the one who said the whole day of the 16th, the second day of Pesach, you cannot eat the new crop. When the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, you cannot eat it the whole day of the 16th. He is going b'shitat Rabbi Yehuda Amar. That shita, that is the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda, Rashi says, Rabbi Yehuda was from the students of his students. Rabbi Yehuda was Rabbi Yochanan was like a student, and this is what Rabbi Yehuda would say. And the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda is really the old opinion of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. What is this opinion? This opinion is that on the Oma Mena Torahu also, that it's forbidden on the 6th when the Beit HaMikdash is not around. It's forbidden to eat the new crop the whole day, not based on a rabbinic law, rather based on Torah law. That the Torah law is you cannot eat from the new crop when there's no Beit HaMikdash until the night post the day of the 16th. Is that clear? And the Gemara says the Ksiv. And what's the source for this? Now we're turning the page. 41ab. And etzem hayom hazeh. It says in the pasuk says that you have to wait. You can't eat from the new crop until etzem hayom hazeh. until that very day, until the very day of the 16th. What does that mean until the essence, until that day of the 16th? Till the etzem hayom hazeh? What does that mean? It means Adi Sumo Shel Yom. Shel Yom. It means until the day, until the entirety of the day, that you cannot eat until the very day, until this day, until the 16th day has been completed. That's how he's understanding this pasuk. Ad etzem, until this very day has been completed, until the 16th day has passed. So therefore, V'ksava, and he holds ad bechlal. When the Torah says ad until the day, it doesn't mean until the day begins. See, you have a famous, there's a Gemara in Brachot. The Gemara says, Tfilah Shachrit, davening Shachrit. There's a specific time you're supposed to daven Shachrit by. It says, the Mishnah states, Rabbi Yehuda says, yeah, you have until 4 hours into the day. Today it's about, most probably, I guess, about 10:30 or something, 10 something. So maybe 10:15, 10:20, whatever. Is really supposed to daven Shachrit before that time. If you miss that time, they have until Chatzot, they have until midday to pray Shachrit. So the Gemara has a question, until 4 hours means until the end of the 4 hours? Or the what, Max? Or the beginning of the 4 hours? When you say until, it means until if I say until the 4th hour, I mean until the 4th hour and including the 4th hour or not including the 4th hour? So when it says until this day, does it mean including this day? You know, deadline is March 1st. Does it mean until the beginning of March 1st, Mr. Haber? Or until the end of March 1st? You ever have that question? Something is due by March 1st. Mark, you hear that? Something is due March 1st. What does it mean until it's due March 1st? The beginning of March 1st? I think usually it means the end of March 1st. When you say it's due March 1st, usually it means you got to the midnight of March 1st to mean until the end of the day. So too, that's what he's understanding. When Torah says until etzem hayom hazeh, he understands that in this, because it says also the word etzem, he understands that the word etzem, it doesn't say just until the day of the 16th. So the etzem he's understanding means the entirety of the day, and he's really understanding that the word etzem means until and including the whole day. You cannot eat until this day has been completed. And therefore, on a Torah level, you can't eat when the Beit HaMikdash is destroyed. You can't eat the new crop until the day has been completed. Now, so the Gemara says, so it comes out, according to this, Rabbi Yochanan's statement, that he makes this announcement, and he proclaims, that he notifies the world that you can't eat the korban, the new crop, when there's no Beit HaMikdash. You can't eat it the whole day of the 16th. He's telling you Torah law. That's the Torah law, according to this opinion. It's not just a rabbinic enactment to protect Torah law. Rather, it's Torah law. So the Gemara says, you're telling me Rabbi Yochanan, Ben Zakkai, and Rabbi Yehuda are on the same page? They're holding the same thing. We find that Rabbi Yehuda disagrees on Rabbi Yochanan Ben Zakkai. He takes a different look, goes the other way. Why? The Tanan, we learned in the Mishnah, Mishachara Beit HaMikdash, when the Beit is a Mishnah Menachot. When the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, Hitkin Rabbi Yochanan Ben Zakkai, Sheyeh Yom Hanef Kulo Asur, that the day of the waving of the Korban, meaning the day of the second day of Pesach, the 16th day of Nisan, Rabbi Yochanan instituted that you cannot eat the new crop once the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed. You have to wait till the end of the day. So Amar Rabbi Yehuda, many take out the word Amar Lo Rabbi Yehuda, because Lo means he's talking directly to him, but he lived in a different. Rabbi Yehuda lived in a later time, so therefore they take out the Lo. Amar Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda says when he heard the opinion of Yochanan Ben Zakkai that he says that he says the word hitkin. He said the word that he instituted the this halacha. A new halacha was created by Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai when the Beit Hamikdash was destroyed, not to eat the whole day. He says, it's not a rabbinic prohibition when the Beit Hamikdash is destroyed to eat from the new crop until the end of the day. It's minat Torah also. Diksiv adetzem hayom hazeh ad itzumo shel yom until the actual entirety of the day has passed. So we see that Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai are on two different pages. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai holds that there's no biblical prohibition when the Beit HaMikdash is destroyed the whole day. Really, on a Torah level, you'll be able to eat in the morning of the 16th. And Rabbi Yehuda holds you have to wait on a Torah level to the night. So how do we say Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai really his opinion is like Rabbi Yehuda? It's clearly not. That's the Gemara's question. Is it clear, the Gemara's question? The Gemara's question is, again, you telling me that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai and Rabbi Yehuda are saying the same thing, that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai is agreeing that on a Torah level, when the Beit HaMikdash is destroyed, you can't eat it the whole day. But we see clearly Rabbi Yehuda took objection to Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, so therefore we see they're not agreeing to the same thing. Only Rabbi Yehuda holds it's forbidden the whole day. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai would say on a Torah level, it's permitted in the morning. So the Gemara answers, Rabbi Yehuda, who did a katai. This opinion of the Gemara, the opinion of Reb Nachman bar Yitzchak, is that Rabbi Yehuda, the later rabbi, who was the student of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, made a mistake in the understanding of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai's opinion. That was his mistake. Who savar mizrabona kama? He thought that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai's prohibition of eating from the new crop throughout the whole day of the 16th when the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed is a rabbinic law, Velohi. Really, that's not what Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai meant. Ela midaraita kama. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai is really coming to publicize a biblical law. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai says that you're not allowed to eat from the new crop on the whole day of the 16th, the whole second day of Pesach. That he was saying that because that's biblical law. He's explicit. That's what he meant. He didn't mean it's a rabbinic enactment. So the Gemara shoots back. What do you mean? How could you say Rabbi Yochanan holds it's a biblical prohibition the whole day? Vahitkin kama. It says he enacted. Rabbi Yochanan was like made a takana. Takana means that, you know what? The law is one way, but I'm enacting something. You know, we made a takana, you have to wash your hands before you do hamotzi. There's no Torah law you have to wash your hands before hamotzi. That's a rabbinic enactment. There's no Torah law you have to read the Megillah on Purim. There's no such Torah law. It's a takana. The rabbi says so therefore, what does it mean if you're telling me a takana? It's your takana generous. He enacted something. If you're telling me that this law of not eating from the second day of Pesach when the Beit HaMikdash is destroyed, you can't eat on a Torah level, that's not something Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai enacted. That's what God enacted. That's what that's Torah law. It's not his enactment. It's not his contribution. You know, when you make a takana, coming to protect something, it's your deal. It's your addition. You're adding to what's on the table. But if you're telling me that's Torah law, so how can you tell me, how can Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, what is he enacting? He's not enacting anything. So the Gemara answers, Ma hitkin. You know what hitkin means? Darash hitkin. Hitkin, usually you say, hitkin is like you make an enactment. Here hitkin means he's telling the community, how do you conduct yourself? This is how you have to conduct yourself. Morning Mark. He's telling the community, that he's publicizing this fact. Meaning now the Beit HaMikdash is destroyed, so Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai gets up to the plate, and he goes out in public, and he makes public announcements, and he's telling the people, everybody, I want to tell you how you have to conduct yourself. Don't eat from the new, this year that the Beit HaMikdash is destroyed, you cannot eat from the new crop until the nighttime, even though until now, you were waiting to the korban omer to be brought. And if you weren't in Yerushalayim to see the korban omer being brought, if you weren't by the Beit HaMikdash, you knew by noon, wherever you are, it was definitely brought by noon. But I want to tell you, and now I'm announcing to the world, that's the hitkin. And in a certain sense, maybe the language of hitkin is like the language of fixing, takana. He's trying to fix, he's trying to help the people, he's trying to help them make to do the right thing. So maybe that's what it means, hitkin. That's what the Gemara concludes. So they have two opinions now. At the end of the day, we ended the Gemara, the Succah, we're about to start a new Mishnah, with two opinions when the Beit HaMikdash is not around. When on a Torah level do you have a right to eat the new crop? Do you have to, on a Torah level, you have to wait until the nighttime when there's no Beit HaMikdash? You have to wait to the end of the 16th? Or technically in the morning of the 16th, you could eat, and it's a rabbinic enactment not to eat the whole day. That is the end of the Gemara, with two different opinions. But bottom line is, we can't eat from the new crop until the whole day of the 16th, and I think it said in Shulchan Aruch, in Eretz Yisrael, they can't eat the whole day of the 16th, and outside of Eretz Yisrael, they can't eat the whole day of the 17th. Now, the nafkamina would be between the two opinions. If you have a question of a safek, so then it will be a question of safek, is it a safek d'Rabbanan or safek min Torah? If you have, let's say you have food in front of you, it's the 16th day of Nisan, and it's post the morning. So now, if this is a safek, if this is forbidden produce or not, let's say, if you hold that on a Torah level, it's definitely permitted in the morning. So now it will be a question of safek in a rabbinic law. So there's more leniency, safek d'Rabbanan. In many cases, we say the kula will be lenient. But if this is a question of grain, we don't know if it's forbidden or not. If you hold that it's on a Torah level, because this opinion holds that when the Torah says you cannot eat until the etzem hayom hazeh, he understands you have to wait till the entirety of the day has passed. You have to wait until not the morning of that day, till the whole day has concluded. So therefore, like deadline is March 1st, the end of March 1st. You have until March. You have to wait until the end of the 16th. So therefore, it will be a Torah prohibition, according to that, to eat in the afternoon of the 16th. You cannot eat. What? According to the first opinion in the Gemara, it's only when the day starts. But the second opinion in the Gemara, Rabbi Huda understands. The question is, what is the Rabbi Yochanan Mezakeh when he makes his enactment? What is the Torah law on that? Is it the beginning of the day it's permitted on a Torah level, or at the end of the day it's permitted on a Torah level? That's the conclusion. That's the Gemara does not tell us who the halacha follows, and that will be something to have to look at. But the application will be for a safek. That will be a big nafkamina between the two opinions. Big difference will come out between the two opinions. Okay, Mazel Tov. Now our new Mishnah, moving along in the Masechta. Yom Tov Harisha Shachad. Now, when the Beit HaMikdash was around, we spoke about they would take the lulav. Everybody took the lulav the first day of Sukkot, even wherever you are in the world, even if it was on Shabbat. That was with the Beit HaMikdash, which is different than today. We all know today, if the first day comes down on Shabbat, second day, third day, fourth day, Chalamoid, we don't take the lulav on Shabbat. We don't take the lulav on, right, Mr. Haber? We don't take the lulav on Shabbat. But at the time of the Beit HaMikdash, they made an exception. They now on a Torah level, the Torah says you take the lulav on the first day. The Torah permits you to take the lulav on Shabbat. There's no the mitzvah is to take the lulav the first day of Sukkot. First day of Sukkot is you're supposed to take on a Torah level. You're supposed to take a lulav, but we're going to find that the rabbis are here to protect us, and they were concerned if you're going to take the lulav on Shabbat, you may come to leave your house with the lulav, forgetting it's Shabbat, because I want to go to the rabbi to teach me how to do the waving of the lulav. I want, the waving. You got to get to all the different directions, up, down, and all around, right? So we might go to the rabbi, and I might, or I need to learn I want to learn the bracha. I want to learn the bracha. Say on a lulav. I'm not person, not an educated Jew. I wonder, can you tell me the bracha? Teach me the bracha. So he goes to the rabbi, but he goes with the lulav. So he carries. So the rabbi said, we got to protect Torah law, and therefore we're going to say, we got to protect people. Machalel Shabbat, better stay back. Don't take the lulav at all. Don't. Based on the educated person, the whole world is because of that uneducated person. Or I mean, it's possible. I mean, that's Rashi gives those scenarios, but it could be anybody, even if you're an educated person. Who knows if people might forget to come to carry that lulav? But that seems to be the main concern. But that's a very good. We have chazara. We do chazara hashatz here in the shul today. We're going to be repeating the Shmonet Amidah. Why to repeat the Amidah? We all have to repeat the Amidah because in case there's an uneducated Jew who doesn't know how to pray, we want him to be part of the minyan. We want him to feel he's part of what's going on here in synagogue. So he doesn't know. He's the farmer. Not for that. It was instituted for the people who did not know how to pray, and therefore that's why we're repeating the Chazal, all because of those people. That's why we're repeating the Amidah for those people. So yes, it is a good point you're saying, Mark, and it just shows you because of that situation that somebody who maybe who's not educated or we're going to be concerned for them that the whole Jewish people. We in a certain sense, it maybe it indicates the idea we're all responsible for each other. So therefore, I might have to lose out on this mitzvah, Mark, because I have to protect you. And really, this week that fits in perfectly with this week's parasha. The parasha this week is Kisisa. It says V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et Shabbat. It says the Jewish people need to observe the Shabbat. It doesn't say, Mark, you have to observe the Shabbat. Maybe there's other psukim that say that. But here the pasuk says the Bnei Yisrael has to observe the Shabbat. It talks as a collective because I think the Orach Chaim HaKadosh says because we're responsible for the community. The Jewish people need to observe the Shabbat. It's not good enough that I observe the Shabbat or you, my friends, observe the Shabbat. It's the Jewish community. And what do we say in the prayers? What do we say in the Amidah? When we talk about Shabbat, we say we're going to say tonight. Let's see what we're going to say tonight. We're going to say, right before we hit the Ritzei in the Amidah, it says, V'yanuchu kol Yisrael mekatei shemah. Yanuchu is like menucha. They should rest. All of Israel should rest on the Shabbat. We're praying, we're asking Hashem, you should give us with love and acceptance, we should give to us the Shabbat, and everybody should rest. That's what we say Friday night. What do we say Shabbat day? In the Amidah, what do we say? Again, before it say, V'yanuchu vo, this is the first, here, before Friday night is V'yanuchu va, this is V'yanuchu vo, Kol Yisrael Mekatei Shemah. Again, we're asking for what? For all of Israel to rest on the what? On the Shabbat. Now comes Mincha in the Amidah. What do you think it most probably says in the Mincha Amidah also? V'yanuchu vam. Interesting. We have va, vo, and vam. We need to think about it and elaborate it. V'yanuchu vam, Kol Yisrael Mekatei Shemah. So isn't that interesting that in the Shachrit and in the Mincha and in the what and the Shachrit, Mincha and Arvit tonight, and you know what? In the Musaf also, V'yanuchu vo, Musaf got the V'yanuchu vo, Kol Yisrael Mekatei Shemah. So every prayer that we pray on Shabbat, we talk about, we're asking that the Jewish people should rest on Shabbat. It's not good enough to be just focused, self-focused. Like the culture today in the secular world is all about, hopefully you don't hear about these things, but in the college world, they will tell you it's all about self, all about self-focus, all about selfishness. Think about yourself. Don't think about anybody. You come first. You're first. Everybody else, it's all about your career. This is what they're espousing, and that's why the world looks like. That's why the world looks like it's such a If people are not sweet because they're all focused on how to be pleasant and sweet and nice to people if they're all focused on themselves. Yes? What is it? Yeah, it's all about the eye. All that's today's culture. Okay, getting back to the Mishnah. Yom Tov Harisha Shalchat. The first day of the holiday. You got the Mishnah? The first day of the holiday, Shachal Liot b'Shabbat. The first day of the holiday that comes out on Shabbat, Kol Ha'am. That means 15th of Sukkot, of Tishrei. The 15th of Tishrei comes out on Shabbat. Let's say the first day of the holiday comes out on Shabbat. What did they do? Kol Ha'am Molichin et Leveil Bet HaKnesset. Friday afternoon, everybody would bring their lulav etrog to the synagogue because they can't bring it on Shabbat morning. What? We don't do it now, right? No, you know why we don't do it, because we're afraid that maybe they'll come to carry. That's the issue. You see, carrying is a big deal. Carrying on Shabbat, and therefore also that's also a big plug. Places where there's no eruv, and there's places that it's a tremendous sin. People carrying on Shabbat. Say it again. Right. I presume they didn't want us. You start saying when there's an eruv you can bring a lulav. Then when you're in another place where there's no eruv, you're also going to bring a lulav. You gotta be across the board sometimes.
That's not the case with other people walking there. I don't know if there's any book about it, but some prior to this people, hopefully see them walking with their bracha, their ballet, their clothes on Shabbat.
Right, but the question, but
that guy doesn't carries his book.
Right. So you're saying you're saying yeah, there's certain communities. So you're saying why? Right. Yes. So when the rabbis made their enactment, they didn't want to make a distinction between places where there's Erev and not Erev. So you want to ask a question. So shouldn't we say the same thing? We should never allow a person to carry on Shabbat. That's really what you're asking. We should never allow a person to carry on Shabbat when there's an Erev, because of the possibility that when he's in a place when there's not an Erev, maybe he's going to carry as well. So that far we didn't go. So the Gemara says, L'macharat. Now L'macharat, the next day, mashkimim, everybody would come early to the synagogue because everybody brought the lulav Friday afternoon, and everyone got to pick up their lulav, identify their lulav. So also we said, you remember, you have to take your own lulav. You can't take someone else's lulav. So everyone would recognize his lulav, his lulav, his etrog, and he would take it. Because the rabbi said, you cannot fulfill your obligation. The first day of the holiday, I could use the other days of the holiday, maybe outside of Israel and America, maybe many are strict on the second day as well, but you treat the second day like the first day. But the other days, technically, there's no problem with me borrowing someone's lulav. The Torah's law is that the first day, you have to go ahead and you have to own the what? The lulav. So therefore, if you brought your lulav to shul and 50 people brought their lulav to shul before Shabbat, each person has to identify their lulav on Shabbat morning to make sure I'm not taking someone else's lulav, I'm not taking someone else's etrog. You don't really write your name too much on it, right? But now, so the Gemara said, Ushaya Motachag, but the other days of the holiday, a person is able to fulfill his obligation with someone else's lulav. Now, this statement that the other days of the holiday you can fulfill your obligation with someone else's lulav is a matter of discussion in the commentaries. In the Beit HaMikdash, you took the lulav for 7 days. So one understanding is in the commentaries is that in the Beit HaMikdash, only the first day had to belong to you, but the rest of the days do not have to belong to you. You could use someone else's lulav. Others say the Beit HaMikdash every day, it's a Torah mitzvah every day in the Beit HaMikdash, take lulav. So every day of the holiday has to belong to you. When it says the other days you could fulfill with someone else's lulav, that's talking post Beit HaMikdash era, when they made an enactment that we take the lulav for 7 days. So we who take the lulav for 7 days now, from day 2 to day 7, we don't need to doesn't have to belong to us. And that's the halacha. That here today nowadays, again, like we said, day 2 we might feel like day 1, but after day 2, for sure, day 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you could use someone else's lulav. You don't have to, doesn't have to belong to you. The first day of the holiday, it must belong to you. Someone doesn't have a lulav, what do? You go ahead and you gift it to him with the condition that he give it back to you. A guy walks into shul, I don't have a lulav. What do? Gift him the lulav with the condition he'll give it back to you. And during the duration of the time that he has it, it belongs to him. Therefore, he can fulfill his obligation of lulav. So that's what the Mishnah says. Rabbi Yossi says, Yom Tov Rishon Chag, Shechag is b'Shabbat. The first day of the holiday is on Shabbat, and if a guy went ahead and by mistake, because of his enthusiasm for the holiday, he made a mistake and he carried his lulav out in public domain, he does not have to bring a korban chatat. Even though he violated Shabbat, he carried, but since he carried as a result of a mitzvah that he was busy with the mitzvah of lulav, so Rabbi Yossi holds that type of situation will be exempt from the korban chatat. We'll continue Monday. Right, so that's a Rashi addresses your point. You're right. He did not have permission. He was, but it means permission means right. So Rashi puts in a word. Right, Rashi permission. Right, meaning he means he was involved with the mitzvah. He was, he was, meaning the reshut here means he had the mitzvah, the involvement of the mitzvah. That's how we're going to translate the reshut. It does not mean he had no permission to do it. Like it was like he was involved in something that we told him to be involved with, but not now. And like you got permission to do something, but you were offside. That's the permission. Right, exactly. You had permission to do something with the lulav. You went.